In 1923, the University of Alabama offered Wade their head coaching position. What they got was an iron disciplinarian who immediately transformed the culture of Alabama football. Wade's players called him the Bear.
We ride with legends, we roll with pride. From Wade to Saban, the Crimson Tide. 18 rings, the record's clear. Dynasty built year after year. We teach the past, we preach the now. We break it down, show you how. From Bryant's grit to Bama's roll, we stomp the field and on the score. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. Basketball's rise, Oats leads the way. Final Four dreams in full display. Gymnastics flips with flawless grace. Champions born in every space. We honor hustle, we praise the grind. Every sport, every tight mind. From hardwood heat to balance beam. We rep the red, we rep the team. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. We don't just talk, we educate. Breaking down plays, we elevate Heisman runs and draft day fame. We know the stats, we name the game. Rivals tremble when down is near. We bring the facts, we bring the fear. The same just hype its legacy. The tide rolls deep in history. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. So tune in loud, let the story unfold. Of crimson fire and heart so bold. We shine the light on every wind. From past to present we dive in. This show's for fans who bleed that red. Who know the names, the paths they tread. We're not just proud, we're certified. The voice, the pulse of Crimson Tide. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove.
Roll Tide, everybody. Welcome to Tight Sports, the Alabama football megacast. Tide Nation, this is just thank you for joining me this evening, a little late night with Tight. And I want to just say, happy Cinco de Mayo. It's a way of recognizing the Mexican holiday that marks Mexico's victory over the French forces in the Battle of Pueblo. Y'all know that. Y'all drink all that liquor and didn't know that, right? In the U.S., we use that phrase to, just commonly use it to give homage to the heritage of Mexico, the traditions, and, the culture. You know what I'm saying? In a broad sense. But Cinco de Mayo to me, saying how my mother's marriage and broke up after Vietnam, Cinco de Mayo and the Mexican kicking the French butt just lets me know that this is the country of friends that got my parents divorced. Because they got us in a lot of East Asian excursions, I'll say that. So, Xing, that's a curse word. French. Tide Nation, lock me in. Let's talk about your Crimson Tide, one of the greatest football dynasties in the world ever. People go, my son went to watch the Yankees. It's like, what the Yankees got? The Yankees don't even hit. So they definitely ain't got none on my Tide. But before we get to rolling, please share a pound with the brother and drop it right on the subscribe button. Drop it right down in the subscribe button, right? because we are making a run. We're trying to get there for the beginning of the season. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs, y'all, because 999 will do. No, the way the rules set up at you, they won't do it. So, amen. Let's keep it going and keep it growing. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like, share with your friends, because we coming hot. Trying to do the best I can. I got a lot of comments this week. Thank y'all for chiming in, leaving the comments. I try to respond to everybody. I love you all. And just remember also, if I successfully stimulate the happy juice in your gray matter and make your funny bone jiggle, please let the algorithm know what we're doing over here and over there on TikTok, and hit that doggone like button right in the eye. Now we got to get to it. A guy, I cannot remember your name, he asked me about the linebacker. I said, hey, that Tight Sports Tribe, what is good with you? We are back in this kitchen. The pot is already bubbling. We are 130 days from kickoff, and while the secondary looks like an absolute no-fly zone, yeah, don't try it. Don't you bring your quarterback out there. Don't do it. My eyes are good. What? Oh, that's kind of close, isn't it? Make my little cheap pictures. Those might fall through all. Anyway, we're talking about that second level, the heartbeat, the enforcers, the inside linebackers, man. You know, that two. It's a 4-2-5. There's only two of them, but they're real important. It's more than two, but you know, that's how you draw it up. That's what we're going with. Now, listen to me clearly. We lost Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, Nakai Hill-Green. We lost them. They're gone. That's over 1,600 snaps of SEC experience walking out of the door. Just go walk on out of the door. Kane Womack says the defense is in pretty good place. But let's be real. We are replacing the entire engine block in this unit, okay? I don't know nothing about motors, but no, engine block real important. That's kind of like where you start at. So is this unit dependable or is it subpar? That's the million-dollar question in Tuscaloosa right now. Enter Caleb Woodson, Virginia Tech transfer. He isn't just a new face. He's a priority. In 2025, he played in 9 games. He had injury, but he racked up 58 tackles and 5 starts. The 2.5 tackles for loss. That's his career stats across 3 seasons at Blacksburg. You know, you got grown man numbers. 35 games, 152 tackles. 11.5 for a loss. He is projected to wear that green dot. Do y'all feel good about him? Let me know in the comments. Y'all think this is gonna work? They make him just walk in and just get the green dot and start being the signal caller? Because that, you know, the SEC 5 is a little different than it is in the ACC. I ain't saying the ACC ain't got no heat. I saw Miami. Okay. I saw Georgia Tech put some licks on some people every once in a while. But the SEC got that fire every week. Huh? But y'all may not know about this, but Reuben Foster said he got some dogs out there. Now it take a dog to know a dog. If you want, wait, shut up. Them dogs, but you want to talk about the soul of the room, man. You have to talk about QB Reese. QB Reese, and don't just take my word for it. The legend himself, Reuben Foster, said he reminds him of himself. And let me tell you, himself was crazy. When Reuben Foster first, he lived in Auburn, played, and then what did he do? He committed to Auburn, and he got this forearm tattoo that was Auburn centric. I don't know if he ever covered it up. He covered his old forearm, and then he flipped and came to Alabama. But he said it reminded him of himself because he's short, undersized, underrated, but he got that absolute dog in him. Reuben sees this man grind, and this former Buckets Award winner, by the way, says that, you know, you're the last of a dying breed, man. He said, you better believe the hype. QB Reese is projected to be a backup in that sting spot, but he's ready for the jump. Last season, he was on special teams, especially he was a special teams monster out there, appearing in 15 games. He got 6 tackles, put a lot of pressure on folks, and got to hit somebody every game. It probably made him happy. And I need to remind y'all, QB Reese is the son of Quentin Reese that played at Auburn. Very good linebacker. So maybe his dad showed him a couple things along the way. Hope he did. And, you know, he's the man Deontay Lawson tagged as next up. And while his career production is just starting to bloom, his mentality is already like an all-American level. Who we had chiming here? Is this me? Is this me? Nope, that's the coolest. That's Nick. Over what's good? I tell you what's good. These linebackers. What's up, man? For anybody over here is visiting that like that Auburn talk, They talked that score over there at the Water Cooler Talk podcast. Check out my man Nick. That's my homeboy. How we grew up, man, in Macon County, Alabama, man. We talk this all year long. We find somebody said we can get cameras to come out here and maybe make a little gas money. And Lord knows we need gas money in 2026, and we'll need it in 36 as well. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Now, the young guns, are they ready for the SEC gauntlet? Let's talk about the problem in the room. Now, I got to say, I'm not going to use the words that he used. Reuben Foster, I'm going to say this in the best possible way. He referred to this man's ethnicity when he said that this guy is going to be a problem. But I have told y'all he's going to be a problem. His name is Luke Metz. That man's going to be a problem for the rest of the nation. Metz flashed in 2025, didn't have a lot of games. He had some experience out there, but he had a 4-tackle performance against Eastern Illinois, but he been tearing it up spring training. Yeah. He has the pedigree and the toughness, to be the hammer Kane Womack needs in that box. And I think they're going to have to figure some things out. But I think he's going to bring that hammer. Then you got Caden Jones. He's been working, and Duke Johnson. Jones battled through a leg injury in 2025, but he lost eight tackles. He got a fumble recovery. He's been out there having a career totals of about 14, but he's been with the program, I think, 2 years. And Duke Johnson, I've been waiting for this guy to shine. Out of Georgia, the man was a player of the year as a junior. I think he got slowed down by injury in his senior year. I'm just waiting for him to just bust out. I'm telling you, some of the guys I just named, between Luke Metz, Caden Jones, Duke Johnson, somebody's about to have an explosive year. He was a rookie standout, though. Duke Johnson was on special teams. He had 9 tackles out there. These guys, they've tasted a little bit of the SEC fire on the kickoff unit, but now they're stepping into the deep end of the pool. Do we have the syncopation to stay in rhythm when the offense speeds it up? And can you and keep your eyes on it's another guy there, Xavier Griffin. If you don't know about this dude, 5-star phenom, coming off a monster senior year. I mean, he was a monster. He had about 100 tackles, a bunch of tackles for loss. Reuben Foster said, I'm saying Reuben Foster because he's more qualified than myself to say these things. He said Griffin has a point to prove. He's lanky, he's explosive, and he's screaming. He comes screaming around the corner. He might start down in the depth chart, but if he keeps up with that 1-2 mentality, he may make an impact by October. And I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, I remember Derek Thomas, it was a thing with those coaches then. They put Derek Thomas out, just let him rush the quarterback. When he was a freshman or a sophomore. I was like, well, here come number 55, a little skinny self. Oh. And he go get him. It wasn't no stopping. It did the same thing with Keith McCants. It's just like, they didn't even play together. Just 3rd and long. I said, did I say Derek Brooks? Golly. Or did I say who I wanted to say? I meant Derek Thomas. Anyway, same thing with Biscuit. They was little skinny, had milk across their nose, but they knew how to get up to the quarterback. Just press him up, take him down to the ground, and twist his ankle if you can. But I'm telling you, we got to find out if these guys have the confidence. The final verdict will come, in those big tests, those first 2 SEC games. We'll know what we got by week 4. Can we have confidence over being in the limelight? Can they handle it? The overall sentiment on this defense is that the front 7 is a work in process, but the continuity in the secondary gives these linebackers and safety a safety net. Kane Womack has the chess pieces, and the transfer portal brought the mass we needed on the line to keep the linebackers clean. But can they execute? Not worried about the line. They brought some monsters in off that line. People got plenty more experience than what I've mentioned here tonight. You know what I'm saying? But as long as they have their blinders on, Reuben said, and ignore the outside noise. That's them haters out there. Joe Clapp. This unit won't be just dependable. They will be devastating. That's what he said. Okay? Devastating. And that's what we need. We need a devastating unit to go out and just mess out somebody's whole Saturday. So tie your shoes tight. We're just, we're building a defense. We're restoring a new standard. We're establishing a new standard. And Caleb Woodson has the green dot. QB Reese has the hard. Luke Metz is ready to be a problem. The roster is set. The coaches are locked in. And the Crimson Tide, just get ready to roll. Because, but before we move on, I need to address the tribe, sign off on a comment. Let me know, guys, who do you think will be the biggest X factor among these young linebackers? When we first saw, first Big SEC road test. I got Big Ten on the brain. You'll know why in a little while. Is it the leadership of Woodson? Is it that dog that's in QB Reese? What is the dog at? Yeah. Is that dog? Is that dog? Or does Xavier Griffin come in and crack the rotation and just wreak havoc? Who do you think is going to be the guy to be like, okay, we got linebacker play. We got everything we need. Let me know. Leave that comment. Leave it today. Leave it tomorrow. Whatever. Now, Tight Sports Nation, the GOAT spoke this week, and Coach Nate, he recently dropped a knowledge bomb that has the entire college football world thinking. The GOAT predicts a massive shift back to old school smash mouth run downhill philosophy. The kind of philosophy that built that, the dynasty he had while he was here. Coach Saban observed that defenses have gotten smaller, faster, and lighter to combat the spread offense and pass happy schemes. So he says the natural cycle of the game is turning back to power football. Do you guys agree? Where you tighten up the formation and put a hat on the hat and run straight through those light defenders. I mean, Nick been watching. It's all about minimizing the opponent's ability to bring pressure and forcing them to defend the physicality of the downhill run. But let's look at some facts, because Nick Saban, he's always 3-4 steps ahead of everybody. He said, you look at the last two FBS champions, or 2 of 3, I guess, last champions. The Michigan team, they were ranked top nationally in rushing. They ran the ball right at you. They didn't really have a great passing attack. It was average, but they sure enough ran the ball very effectively, especially against us. Better than I wanted to. Georgia ran the ball pretty good, and I think Indiana ran the ball very well. When you look at it, Michigan, they averaged 170 yards a game on the ground. Georgia going back-to-back was 200 yards a game. Did they do that for 2 years? I got to go back and look at that. They probably did. Because they had, like I said, they had a serviceable passing game. I don't know if it was dynamic and outstanding, but it was very serviceable. These champions already had the blueprint that Saban was talking about. Efficiency on the ground. It just hit, it was a hidden engine of those title runs. And that's what we need now. Now you look at your top 10 rushing team, Liberty. I know Liberty was tops in rushing, but they went 13-1. They won their conference. Air Force and Army went top 5. But they triple option style, but they always have to play with toughness because it's just hard to get a awesome quarterback, to go to those schools for understandable reason. So you skip over that, you go to West Virginia, you go to USC, they broke the top 10 in rushing, showing the teams are already starting to pivot back to a ground game, even though it may not look like Saban's, it is still a ground game nonetheless. Liberty ranked number 1 in rushing and finished with a 13-1 record and a conference championship appearance. They did not win their conference. But West Virginia, they were number 4 in rushing. They finished with 9 wins, their best performance in years. I was trying to tell the high school coaches locally, man, if you ain't got nobody that's going to the manning camp, I don't know why you're trying to throw the ball 50 times games. What are you doing? This is a child. The correlation is clear. If you can run the ball, everybody, all the Tide fans, if you can run the ball, you control the clock, you control the tempo, you control the outcome of the game. You keeping it close or you blow them away because they don't want to play no more. While some modern coaches are going to struggle to adapt with their flashy air raids, Nick Saban has just been a master of that joyless murder ball. Hope I don't get dinged by using that word murder ball on YouTube, but they know what we're talking about. We remember Derrick Henry in 2015. They didn't care if you knew the run was coming. They had a sturdy defense to keep you off the board, and they had a downhill power to wear you down till you just died. Third quarter, they kind of gave up. Saban understands the physical offense is the best friend to an elite defense because it keeps playmakers fresh and the opposing offense on the sideline while others may try to be some cute scheme. The Crimson Tide has always flourished when we dominate the line of scrimmage. Run the ball with authority. And this just isn't a prediction. It's a warning to the rest of the country. And maybe he was talking to the boy. I don't know. Maybe he was giving him a little inside track. But I think the era of soft defenses is about to run head first into a brick wall, Head first. because it's about to change. The GOAT said it, not me. We stay respectful to the GOAT because, he's seen it, he's done it. He sees the game cycling back to the trenches, and you better believe the Crimson Tide will be ready to lead the charge. And we want the best for Bama. And the best is always founded on toughness, discipline, and running the ball downhill. Now, when I speak of trenches, let's talk about the man who just walked into Tuscaloosa with his hard hat on, a clipboard, and a track record for turning around offensive line. Turning the offensive line to a full-blown demolition crew. We're talking about Coach Adrian Clem. That's right. I didn't bring that up for no reason. I brought that up because this is what's happening in Alabama. They're like, well, we can't run the ball. Shut up. Make an adjustment. This isn't some random hire. This isn't some let's see what happened on this move. This is a statement. This is a declaration. This is Alabama saying we're going to bully you again. We hired the best bully builder in the country to do it. Coach Clem, when he was at Westwood, UCLA, their offensive line went from soft to savage. They ripped off multiple seasons, averaging 200 yards rushing per game. Do you know what we could do with 200 yards rushing per game in Alabama? It's Pac-10, so let's say 180. We averaged 121 last year, by the way. They produced first-round talent. They cut their sacks down, way down. They got mean, they got nasty, and they stayed physical. In 2013, UCLA now, pretty garbage now. They set a school record for total offense, 5,500 yards. And they did it because the line finally started moving people like they just a bunch of shopping carts. That was Clem. That's the guy we got. That was his blueprint. That was his DNA. Now you're talking about Trent dominance. He's been doing it for a decade. He went to Oregon and he turned them little ducks into a freight train. Oregon under Coach Clem was a different animal. Like the Mighty Ducks. They ran for over 200 yards a game. This 200. I like the sound of this 200 yards a game. I'll take it in the SEC. They finished in the top 10 nationally in total offense. They allowed one sack, really like a half a sack a game. We had like 27, 29 sacks last year. Top 5 in the country is what they were. That's not good. That's great. It should be borderline illegal because it didn't happen in Alabama. Bo Nix didn't just have time in the pocket. He had a lounge chair, a foot massage, a 3-course meal in the pocket, and that's what Clem line does. It doesn't just block. It erases defenders from existence. And the run game, Oregon was a sledgehammer. They broke defenses out there. They broke their willpower. They broke their spirit. They ran for 3,000 yards. Man, even if you take a little bit off there for SEC, would it be great to have 2,500 yards? Rushing. They like they were a team built on pure anger and protein. And now he's at Alabama where the standard is title, not talk. That's what I do. I talk. The GOAT said the game is cycling back to the trenches. And what does Alabama do? They go and get a man who specializes in building trench warriors that look like the brick wall, the Great Wall of China with bad intentions. He ain't here to just participate. He's here to rebuild his identity. He's here to put the fear of God back into defensive coordinators. He's here to make sure that when Alabama lines up on 3rd and 2, everybody in the stadium knows what's coming. It may come with a little slant. It may come a little slant toward this gap. It may come straight at you. It may come on the outside, but they're going to know they can't stop it. This is about running the ball downhill. This is about imposing your will. This is about making the SEC remember what it feels like to get hit by a Crimson Tide offensive line that doesn't just block. It's out there hunting you. So with Clem's coaching the line, Clem, my aunt's name was Clem, so I used to, anyway. So with Clem coaching the line, Bama's about to get, I'll get back to that 4 yards a pop. Back to play action bombs and stuff because the safeties are terrified. Back to 40 minutes time of possession, back to breaking teams in the second quarter and burying their butts in the third. The Crimson Tide aren't just reloading, they're rearming, man. They're reinforcing the foundation. They're rebuilding the empire from the inside, trenches out. And when you control the line of scrimmage, you control the game. When you control the game, you control the SEC. And when you control the SEC, I still believe by this much, you still control college football. So let me say it again for people in the back. shout out to the GOAT. You better believe he's ready, and the Tide is ready to lead the charge, getting back to just busting people in the mouth. We just been found on the best, the toughness, the discipline, the running the ball downhill, and Coach Clem is in the building. And that downhill may have just turned into a cliff for half the teams we're going to play. They ain't got a chance. In other news, just so I lighten up and cool down because I got a lot to go. 114 athletes walked across the stage. Yeah, at the University of Alabama. Yeah, they did it with pride, and they came from every field, court, pool, and track. University of Alabama, man, it ain't just ceremonials, a parade of champions at 114 athletes. 114 athletes getting 120 degrees. Huh? We were stacked with All-Americans, SEC scholar athletes, even Olympians. That's right, Tarsis Oragot, the Paris-bound sprinter and four-time Ugandan national record holder, put on a cap and gown, on top of his world-class speed. Yeah, don't think about, we had some hard-hitting boys out there. You had 10 members of the Crimson Tide football. They graduated, including those that helped push us through those CFP runs. And check this out. Matt Wilson came back and got his degree. Yeah, Matt Wilson. Yeah, he drafted by the Cleveland Browns. I think he's moved on to Arizona now. He's finally finishing that degree, And then you got Rachel Rebecki, Elite 90 winner and All-American gymnast. She got hers. We just had a whole bunch of people out here getting their degrees. I want y'all to be proud of this. We had post-grad scholarship winner and swimming star. This isn't a class. It's a roll call of achievement. And let's not forget the champions, okay? These graduates that helped to stack SEC titles in cross country and soccer and football, plus Final Four. We did get an SEC, plus Final Four and college. My man, Latrell Ricell, he got his. Yeah. They elevated the standard of what it means to wear that script today. You know what I'm saying? The beauty of this class is how many of them excel with, both brain and bronze. Elmer Jones won academic All-American twice. Carly Weathers and Jones took home SEC Scholar of the Year honors. I mean, these are players that could drop 30, break a record, then win a track meet, then go back and go ace the final. So today we celebrate that group that embodies everything Alabama stands for: grit, excellence, and relentless drive to be the best. They came to Tuscaloosa as talented kids. Now they leave as champions, scholars, and representatives of the Crimson Standard. And here on Tight Sports, because I hold down 2 degrees myself, these graduates didn't just walk, they roll. You know what I'm saying? They roll. Tight Sports Tribe, join me in giving them a hand. Okay. Now with all the niceties out of the way, man, I got to talk about this. Now, let me just play this crap. Let me just play this so y'all can hear it. Let me just play this real quick. All right.
Yeah, I don't know the statement. You said I haven't had a lot of success against Bama, or you're saying at Auburn program. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't super care about what the success has been or hasn't been. To be totally honest with you, this team hasn't played Bama, and we'll be prepared to go play Week 12 when it's time to go play. In terms of the music, we've put an emphasis on what that game is, and we're going to continue to put an emphasis on it. It's the greatest rivalry in college football, and it's important to our fan base. It's important to our alums. It's important to me. It's not any more important today than the other 11, but it's going to be a constant reminder at Auburn as long as I'm here that last week of the year is a critical week for the people of our fan base, the people of our state, and I haven't played Bama as the Auburn head coach. So,
you ever had a question that just had you shook? You're in a grocery store and you're buying a prophylactic, and your mama's friend come around the corner and say, "Where your mom at?" You ever had that happen? I took care of this mainly on Sunday, but I just wanted to play that again because that was crazy. It was shook by the questions, and there's really, he was not ready to respond to the fact that they played Dixieland Delight at their spring practice, not 2-a-days. Not the Iron Bowl week, at the spring practice. And I love how you say, he separated himself. He look, them folks over there on the field that's got the jerseys on I gave them, they lost to Alabama. Not me. I have not lost to Alabama here at all. They lost, not me. He separated himself because, you know, they played, not me. And he acted like he had more success when he was at USF. Do y'all remember? We sent a lacrosse player out there to play, and they still couldn't beat us at USF. We had a lacrosse player. He was a bona fide All-American lacrosse player. The man just played football because somebody said, hey, you come out and play football, maybe get a shot in the NFL. And he took it. Then he went back and played lacrosse. And they couldn't do it. Now he's talking about this, you know, I haven't played, you know, so he acting like, okay, just by some miracle, Alabama wins the Iron Bowl. You know, just some miracle that, you know, we can squeak by Auburn by 1 point. He's acting like they're going to say, okay, well, Golis, you know, you lost the game, but, you know, we're not going to count those other ones, sir or coach. We still got them when we want them. Now, this is not even, they think that was foolish. This man thinking they're going to be a new, and I just want to know things like, he said this is an important game, but he said no more important than the other 11. Which is it, man? Come on, bro. Which way you going? So, you know, I would say it's bulletin board material, but it's after this man kind of peeing his pants over here. And if you listen right at the end, my favorite moment when he had a Freudian slip, he had a moment in stating that the Iron Bowl would be their last game of the year. Now, at that point, I agree with wholeheartedly. Yeah, the Iron Bowl probably will be, you know, your last game for y'all. I'm gonna get this comment. Then I'll move on to something even more foolish. Tight. I like it when you wave them 6 fingers. Was it 6? Was it 6? You on 6? What we got? 6? 6 fingers? Hey, it's me that already called it. If y'all don't know what that means, it's me is saying that Auburn will experience a 6th year in a row where Auburn does not. Wait a minute, he already had a 6 feet. Where we at? I got so many streaks. They lost the Iron Bowl 6 times. They got, is it 6? I'm confused. It's me, let me know, because I don't know that. He got too many streaks. But I got something that's going to really tick off Bama Nation. You think that was nuts? Listen to this bovine excrement right here. Just listen. Just listen. Y'all may have heard it, but listen. I'm going to break it down. Just listen to this.
There's a lot of people out there, Coach, that will say the chase changed when everything had to be on the up and up, if you know what I mean.
I hear that too.
There's a lot of conversations that there are certain institutions in certain parts of the country that were doing some various activities.
Do you think that's true, Rob? Do you think that's true?
I think there's a big part of it that's true, yeah.
I'd probably agree with that.
You're a little bit closer to it than me, but I think...
I don't know that for a fact. I don't want to be
correct, but
no,
don't
accusations,
take it back.
that's so hard.
Don't take it back.
But, I mean, why else?
I'm gonna just play.
There's a lot of people out there, Coach, that will say the chase changed when everything had to be on the up and up, if you know what I mean.
I hear that too.
There's a lot of conversations that there are certain institutions in certain parts of the country that were doing some various activities.
Rob? Do you think that's true?
I think there's a big part of it that's true, yeah.
I'd probably agree with that.
Listen here, man. Listen here, man. Listen here, man. Listen here. Let me tell you right now. I'm hot. I'm heated. I thought Golis was cute. That was funny. Maybe just slipped up. But this is some of the most arrogant, self-righteous, flat-out ignorant commentary I've ever come across. Y'all do know Mark Ingram is on that show, Triple Option, but he wasn't there that day. Urban Meyer. Yes, that was Urban Meyer. You sat down on the Triple Option podcast. That's his little buddy there. And he began to nod his head and co-sign at the idea that Southern programs, because we was on one winning championships, seems to be, that he was talking about, specifically SEC programs, cheated their way to their national championship between 2005 and 2022. He said it with a straight face, like he wasn't even a part of the damn story, like he wasn't coaching at the University of Florida during the exact same window. I'm not making this up. Y'all heard it. This man's out here apparently snitching on himself and didn't even realize it. Huh? He didn't even realize that he was telling on himself. Like his ass was born and raised in the middle of the horseshoe. Like he been living in Ohio his whole life. And let's be real about what this is. This isn't about a football conversation. This is a jealousy tour disguised as an analysis. And I hate it. The host of the Triple Option is probably a SEC, probably a Pac-10, maybe even a Big 12 hater, plain and simple. And Urban Meyer should know better. He just sat there and gave the narrative legs. He said, well, I don't want to throw it out there. You already threw it out there, man. You can't pull it back. And what makes it worse is this isn't just some random blogger on the internet. This ain't like I said it. Who cares what I say? You know what I'm saying? This man won a national championship himself, a couple of them, several of them, and a man who recruited in the South, a man who lived in Gainesville, Florida. So while he starts pointing the fingers at Southern teams cheating, somebody in the studio should have just slid him a mirror and say, buddy boy, that reflection don't lie. You were right there, coach. And here's the part that really burns me up. What programs are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Say it with your chest. Huh? You talking about the GOAT? Who you talking about? Les Miles? Say it with your chest. Who you? Just call it. Don't be no punk. Say it. Even the host. The Alabama Crimson Tide did what they did. They did it the right way, and you have no evidence to say they did it any other way. Coach Nick Saban built the program on discipline, academics, development, and the process. So when somebody vaguely waves their hand and says, Southern teams, were throwing, cheated and other teams cheated, that's how they got so they can't win now. Throwing shade on the greatest dynasty in the history of college football without one shred of evidence. That burns me up, man, and it should burn you guys up, man. Every Tide fan watching right now, man, don't let the narrative slide unchallenged. Right, them folks? We don't back down from nobody down the field and not in this seat right here. Now let's talk about the elephant. No, let's talk about the whole goddamn zoo in the room. Urban Meyer coached at University of Florida, right? Y'all remember him at University of Florida? Yeah, clap it up. Tim Tebow, yeah. 2005, 5 years, 2 national championships. And during that time, one of his players named Aaron Hernandez. Now, you go out and watch the doggone documentaries, read the articles. Let me be clear. Urban Meyer is not legally responsible for the horrific acts of that man that he later committed after he left Gainesville and entered the NFL. But let me tell you something. I want to be fair about that part. But here's what we do know, and it's been extensively documented. Aaron Hernandez had serious behavioral red flags while he was a Gator. If I'm lying, I'm flying. It's already, there were incidents, there were concerns, and the program, his program, they did not slow that down. They did not address it in the proper way it could have been addressed. His talent was prioritized over character accountability. Now, here's the thing. That's probably why he backed up. He said, yeah, I'll probably say, look, I don't want to put that out there. Yeah, you don't want nobody digging this back up. Then this is just not my opinion. That's on the record, Jack. Urban Meyer wants to sit in the podcast chair and act like, other programs, we're cutting corners, doing things the wrong way. I need him to explain to me how that fits what's happening in his own building when you was there. That's the definition of living in a glass house and throwing boulders, man. That's all that is. You don't get to wrap yourself some kind of moral authority when it comes to your own program, and you had a player whose behavior was screaming for an intervention and a culture around him to let it slide because he could catch a football. That's not a Southern problem. That's a you problem, coach. And let's not act like Urban's post-career cleaned up his reputation. His time at Ohio State ended under a cloud of controversy, including domestic abuse allegations against a member of his staff, and how that situation was handled. Not the situation that happened with but how it was handled by the people in charge, be it Urban Meyer being one of them. Then he went to Jacksonville, had the situation so bad, so embarrassing, he got fired within the season. There were reports of dysfunction, disrespect toward his own players and staff, and conduct that was outright embarrassing for a professional head coach. So this man is giving moral lectures, or he heading out like he wasn't never even a coach. Talking about how other programs operated. Somebody help me understand this logic, because I must be missing something. Now, let's get into this host of the triple option for a second, because this man clearly is an SEC hater who doesn't like do his homework. You gotta do your homework. That's what I do. This host want to talk about cheating and improper benefits and recruiter violations like that's something exclusively a Southern thing. It's me saying AU has 5 years and then new culture under the belt of under 50. Okay. And yeah, 6 feet time for AU. Okay, that's what that is. Okay. Back to it. So let me introduce the gentleman to a little story about a man named Maurice Claret. Y'all may not know about him. Some of y'all kind of young, you know what I'm saying? And Ohio State, because if we're heading out accusations, we need to be thorough and honest. Maurice Claret, one of the best freshman running backs in the history of college football, helped Ohio State won a national championship in 2002, and then the whole thing came tumbling down. Yeah, he told on everybody because he wanted to go pro, and they wouldn't let him. So what did he do? Lit that match and blew the whole damn thing up. He said he got free money, free cars, things that don't belong in the amateur program. This was the Big Ten Ohio State, y'all. The same Ohio State that acts like they're the gold standard of collegiate integrity. You know, that's a big word. And then we have Terrell Pryor. Y'all may have heard Terrell Pryor. His career ended early when his wife mistook him for one of them tomahawk boys downtown, you know, at the beer place. Anyway, Terrell Pryor and Ohio State tattoo scandal. Oh, yeah. Now, this one is particularly rich because the story that ended Jim Trustle's career at Ohio State. Terrell Pryor and several Buckeyes sold memorabilia. I would say allegedly, I think they proved it, whatever. Championship rings, jerseys, gold pants to a tattoo shop owner in exchange for tattoos and cash. That's an NCAA violation, full stop. And what made it worse, Jim Trustle knew about it and said nothing. He concealed it from the NCAA, and when it came out, he was gone. Ohio State vacated wins. They were put on probation. This was not the SEC. This was the Big Ten. Again, this was Ohio State, the flagship of the conference that apparently has, you know, no cheating, according to Urban Meyer, according to this clown over here. So for the triple host to sit there and point fingers at the South, he doesn't even know the Big Ten conference history. He wouldn't have said nothing stupid like that. Or is he choosing to just ignore it because it doesn't fit his narrative? And look, I'm not saying the SEC is perfect, but no conference is. Every major program has had compliance issues at some point. That is the nature of big-time college athletics. But here is the difference between what I am doing and what the triple option host is doing. I'm bringing you facts, names, and documented cases. There are other cases out there. He waving his hand around, making broad accusations about the entire region of a country without citing a single specific penalty. We want to talk about the Cam thing, which was never substantiated. We want to talk about something back with Gene Stallings, you know, whatever. But he didn't say nothing. He didn't bring nothing up. No, because if he brings something up, they got something to match. Not a single specific violation. Not a single specific program by name. Urban just sat there and nodded along like that was acceptable commentary. That is not analysis. That is bias with the microphone. You know, you're playing YouTube out here, you know, in these YouTube, in these streets, man, for clicks and likes. I get it. Now, here's what I really want to speak my mind to Alabama people, because when someone says Southern teams cheated to win championships, you know, in these years, they're putting the Crimson Tide in that conversation. It makes my blood boil. You know what, Coach Saban put together was beauty. It was beauty. The man installed a culture based on process, not hype, shortcuts. And, you know, when you win, you just win. I don't know. Was he cheating when he finally was able to beat ULM? Nobody say he was cheating when he lost to ULM. Huh? He gonna fail. How were they saying 2007? He didn't win a championship, you know, all the allegations come up. They don't want to talk about that, you know. It was a system in place, man. Not just stars. He was building depth. He built character. He demanded accountability for every person in that building, from the five-star quarterback to the walk-on special teams player. That's what won championship. That's why we have 6 under Saban. Not because somebody was handing out money in the back alleys, you know. And if you know where they are, bring the pictures out, tell the location, tell the players and the people, well, shut the hell up. The talent came through Tuscaloosa. Derrick Henry, Trevon Diggs, Jonah Williams, Deron Payne, you know, Mac Jones, Monty Smith, Najee Harris. They all just people say they're classy people. Are you saying all of them are garbage now? Mr. Triple Option, man? Is that what you're saying? They're a bunch of seedy characters out there in the back alleys of California where they found Najee living in a doggone homeless shelter. He didn't want just a better life for himself. He had to take a little cash to go with. Is that what you're saying? They competed at the highest level and developed to first-round draft picks under an elite coaching structure. The recruiting was elite because the program was elite. Players wanted to go to Alabama because it made players better. If that's cheating, then guilty. That's excellence. And I'm just tired. I'm absolutely done with people who can't match what Alabama has done on the field, trying to tear it down with the whispers and implications and head nodding, on podcasts. And let me say something else. The NCAA, for all its faults, investigated these programs during this era, and they went after programs. They penalized programs, especially when they had a little power. If Alabama was cheating on that scale that these people are insinuating, then there would have been some evidence somewhere and definitely some penalties because they like throwing Alabama under the bus. But they get a chance. There would be vacated titles. Where are they? Where? No, still got 18. Because Ohio State actually had findings. The evidence was there. The wins were vacated. Coaches were forced out. But nobody on the triple option is bringing that up. They're too busy being jealous of the dynasty, of the legacy, the culture of the University of Alabama that was built upon building the Deep South without their blessing or approval. So I want to circle back to the most baffling part of this, the sheer arrogance, self-unawareness of Urban Meyer. In that moment, the man who coached in the SEC won 2 national championships, won the SEC crown, 2 or 3 of them. He recruited in the South. You were in the middle of it. It just don't make no sense. There's a phrase out here, Urban, that you need to be familiar with. You out here self-snitching. You don't snitch. Why you self-snitching? When you start describing a crime scene and you don't realize that your fingerprint DNA is all over it, you have snitched on yourself, sir. Come on, man. You operate in the same environment, same programs. You had issues like everybody else had issues. So were your championships tainted or stolen, or, did you pay off these players? You had behavioral problems. Were you smoothing it over with a little cash in the hand? It's insulting to anyone with the alpha brain and a memory longer than 5 minutes. This just don't make no sense how you play this thing off. And here's where I land on all this stuff in my closing statement for this episode. The legacy of Alabama football, the Crimson Tide dynasty that Saban built, started by Wade Wallace, blown up in a big level by Coach Bear Bryant, take it to the next level, Nick Saban, hopefully take it to another level under DeBoer domination. We don't need to be defended by me or anyone else. The truth defends itself. The trophies are real. The players are real. The development is real. Championships are real. So when cowards and haters, jealous outsiders try to slap an asterisk on something that was built by Tuscaloosa, they just reveal themselves, not the program they're attacking. They reveal that they couldn't compete on the field. They couldn't. And then, like I say, you got money now. Oh, you got money? Hey, you know what? People have a way of getting more money or enough money. Texas Tech got money. Now they got a coach. They got a player they got a quarterback that's going to rehab, gambling rehab. And so the only thing they have left is doubt and insinuations. That's a weak position. And we don't play weak in Alabama, nowhere around Alabama. I want to say it's with respect because the man can coach. There's no question about that. He can coach in college. But the moment you sit down that platform and co-sign this damn narrative garbage about the entire region programs without applying some scrutiny, the same scrutiny to yourself, because you weren't born in the middle of the shoe. No. You've given up your right to be taken seriously. So why don't you go huddle up with somebody else who you ain't married to? You have become the story tonight on Around the Herd. And that story is a former coach, SEC coach, who got his own damn set of problems trying to rewrite history and dragging other programs down. It's not leadership. It's not integrity. That's not what a man claims to have coached with excellence. That's not what you should be doing in your platform. You want reform. You want to, change the transfer portal. You want to, do the collective. You don't be just trashing folks for no apparent reason. To every single Crimson Tide fan watching this, stay locked in. Don't let this noise get to you, because it's gotten to me. Don't let that jealousy of people who could never build what Saban built shake your confidence in this program. It and its legacy. We know who we are. We know how we got here. We know the work that went into every single one of those championships, and not one podcast host, retired coach with an axe to grind, no amount of vague accusations is going to change what is carved in the record books. We're not going to apologize to nobody for winning. Y'all might as well get ready for some more. The Tide doesn't need to explain itself for those who can't compete on the same level. We just simply going to roll. Because that's what Alabama does. And it always will. Now that's it for tonight. I got to try to bring my heart rate down before I pass out up here. I got a couple more messages in the the tattoo scale. Yeah, it was wild. And he act like that didn't happen. The host did. I don't know if Urban Meyer, man, he was probably somewhere in Utah, probably wasn't paying attention, coaching hard. Yeah, that was wild. He thinks we are stupid, too stupid to look it up. Hey, and you ain't got to. Just come here. I'm gonna try to give you as many facts as I can, give you the truth. Yeah, I mean, but there was a scandal in Miami, but I think the guy was alluding to everything that happens in Miami too. Like everybody in the South, he said certain regions of the country. He could have said California because ain't nobody won on the other side of the Mississippi but Texas and USC. When we talk about a region of the country, you got Tennessee, LSU, you got Georgia, you got Miami, you got Florida. That's a region of a country is doing well. So he definitely was talking about SEC, and he throws Miami in there as well. Bama will have at least 4 L's again this season. Bama fans are living in denialville. Bama hater, your face look ashy. Thank you for checking in. Bear 6, Knicks 6. Started. That's not 18. Political championships are real easy to win. Okay, folks, we want to thank Bama hater 4955 from, I guess, coming in. He was born in 1923, so he was there when Alabama got their first championships. He don't know how they got them, but like I said, this is what they're gonna do. Haters gonna hate. So keep on coming back, Bama hater. We can take it. Tell me what your team is. Be careful. Be careful now. Who your team, Bama hater? I'm gonna be here for a little while. I'm gonna wait about 1 minute. Put it in there. Who's your team? Is it Georgia? Nah. I don't think Georgia come at us like that. No, they don't come at us like that. Georgia fans, I have a problem with them. I don't think. Let's see. You're a Mississippi State fan, because I got a Mississippi State guy I'm gonna jump on here pretty soon. Another guy, he works for what's that? Pure Roy, what is his name? Put it in there. Come on, man. You ain't going nowhere. You put that message in at 9:52. It is 9:53. You ain't going nowhere. You still watching? Come on, give it to me. It's me. Find out who his team is. Anyway, thank y'all for joining me here tonight. Smack that subscribe button. Flick that notification bell. However you like to flick it. Flick it so you'll know when we go live. And don't forget, thump that like icon right. Being salty, trying to be light-skinned Bernie Mac won't help you lose 4 games. I am a Miami. Oh, Miami game, Miami fans. Miami. Oh, you just close. You was this close. We'll try it again next year. Got you another quarterback. What you paying this $8 million? Got his sister down there. Got his sister some NIL money. Man, that family is loving. I love Miami getting a new quarterback. Just rolling the dice, seeing what's going to happen every year. Come on back, Bama hater. Tuesday, 9 p.m. out Eastern. I'll be right here, 8 p.m. Central. You should be. I know where you are. Bama, are you still mad about 1992? Just to be honest, I probably will be too. Oh, shout out to JK, aka Bama, aka Meyer. That's the Hurricanes' biggest fans. Oh well, I thought that was Luke. Jerry Matthews, Kirby, essay. Essay. What's that say? Essay. We don't have to be FSU. We don't have to try to be FSU. We can't. Finally, y'all know y'all lost them 3, and it don't matter. Have y'all won the ACC yet? I gotta go. Kirby still talking about Bama teams. He was via. Oh yeah, I seen that. I saw something on that. I ain't mad on him because he got when you had just a great experience being with a great program like that and learning under the GOAT, the master, and still trying to do the same thing, which may be a problem he's having right now. I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I still talk about going to Disney World, even though I ain't been there since the 90s. I still talk about it. It's a great place to be. But folks, he said Kirby, still talking about Bama, talk about that Bama, talking about Bama that he coached. Yeah, but he's still trying to coach like he had Bama. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work right now because it's only so much. It's only so many times you're gonna call me out my name, and I got $300,000 in the bank. I'm just being honest. I'm just telling you. I mean, I would left jobs for less. So anyway, with that, let's see. The board buyout will happen before Thanksgiving. I'm not. You know what? You know what? That's funny because we can't even try to afford that. That's what I know we can't do. You know, you just got an extension, right? Huh? You know how many times are y'all gonna spend money down in Miami and come up short? And then when he starts to lose, I put it this way. I think y'all gonna fire y'all coach before we do. Yeah, I think y'all gonna, because he's already been on the brink already. I've watched the crystal ball. Yeah. I think he's been on the brink already. I said right now tonight, y'all gonna fire y'all coach before we do. Bottom line. And with that, folks, I'm about to get out of here. He's been drinking. Yeah, he probably drinking. And you know what was bad? He probably been drinking water. It's just disease water. But I'm gonna get out of here, folks. Good night to all and all the food fight. And remember to join me next week, 9 p.m. every Tuesday, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll be right here. And let me just get this special song up here for since he claims to be a hater. I never would do that. I'm not a hater. I'm a lover. So we'll see you guys next week. And Bama hater, always remember, roll tide.
Hey, hater, what up? Hey,
Roll Tide, but
oh,
yeah. Hey, hey, what up, what up, what up? Soft was.
A tight voice creation.
Hey. Roll Tide back, yeah, we ride from the dust. Go stepped out, they were praying we bust. 10 wins later, and we still in the hunt. SEC title game, yeah, we back up front. They said we dead, but the tide don't drown. We reload quick, hold, stay, hold it down. Tuscaloosa build different legends in the clay. Haters talk loud, but they never won't play. First round here, let the world in the trance. Mouth wide open like they call in the stands. Thought we were broken, thought we were done. And the tide rolled in and the scoreboard spun. Mind left blank, whole crowd in the freeze. We do what we do, make giants who they need. Haters pray hard for the tide to fall flat, but the tide rolls up. Now imagine that. Now imagine that. But the tide rolls up. Yeah, we the school with the rings, with the Lord with the crown. Walk in the room and the whole place bound. From Brian to Saban, the dynasty live. New era, ain't smoke, we forever gon' thrive. We built on grit, on blood, on pride. On Saturdays, the host I ride with the tide. Haters wanna doubt, but they never learn enough. Alabama football, we invented tough. Hey, hater, what up? Why you looking so stressed? Your team on vacation, we're still getting blessed. You scrolling through your phone, trying to find who to blame. Yeah. But your squad tapped out, they ain't built for the game. Yeah. You talk about next year, talk about next team. But the tide in your head like a permanent dream. Fixture was a Roger fixture. We look crook of the tide, ain't worried, we do what we do. We shot the world once, we shock it again. Every season, reload every season. We win, you can hope, you can pray, you can wish for our fall. But the tide roll heavy, we don't listen at all. We the standard, the blueprint, the code. Every hate in the south know the legend we wrote. So keep talking that talk, keep hoping we slip. But the tide stay ready, hold stay, don't drip.